Bang. Black Goose TV family, what's happening with it? We up in this thing. We got Fluence Lounge going on tonight. Not really the usual Fluence Lounge, because y'all know usually when we do Fluence Lounge, it's around, some pretty interesting fights that we trying to watch, you know what I'm saying, view and all that good stuff. In this particular case, the Gausha Tszyu fight, that is on right now. We're watching it to an extent. We're not even gonna lie to you. We're somewhat watching it, not really, but we really want to do this kind of just give y'all some content, talk to the people. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully y'all Saturday night's doing, it's going pretty good. And y'all can watch this, have something to watch if y'all ain't got nothing else to watch. But for the most part, just wanted to tap in with the people, man. Seeing what's happening with you. How you feeling, Doc?
Shit, man. I'm alive, man. You know what I'm saying? Well, I guess alive. When I mean that, like, excuse me. When I mean that, a lot of y'all probably gonna be like, what does he mean by that? I don't mean, like, you know what I'm saying? We all wake up, we got this complaint about this and that, woo da. And the only reason I'm talking like this because I just left one of my other homies and we was talking and I was just like, I don't want to complain for real. He was like, yeah, you got people in third world countries drinking bad water. I'm like, yeah, that mud water. And I'm just thinking like,
Shit, you got niggas in this country drinking bad water, nigga.
water,
Flint.
yeah, Flint, Michigan, exactly. But you know what I'm saying as far as just complaints, because I'm just like, if you feel like you got some money in your pocket, some money in your pocket, you got a roof over your head. If you're fortunate enough to have somebody, you laid up with, regardless of the, gender, you got somebody to lay up with. And you know what I'm saying? If you got kids and they healthy, if you don't got kids, you healthy and your peoples is healthy. You know what I'm saying?
What can
It's
you
hard
ask
to,
for?
you know what I'm saying? It's hard to appreciate that because you live in a, like you said, a capitalist society. So everything is just money, 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 this. But I'm saying all that to say is like, I'm alive. I got some, I'm blessed. I'm healthy. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no, diseases or any sickness or anything. So, what I'm
That's real,
saying?
man. That's a blessing. Y'all gotta it's you gotta appreciate the little things, man. You gotta appreciate the little things because you know what I'm saying, as you get older, you start realizing, man, I didn't appreciate that shit back when I was that age. I should appreciate it because you'll appreciate it later. So that is important, man. I salute that. Like facts, because a lot of people don't want to put in perspective what's going on in the world and be like, all right, I'm gonna complain about the fact that I gotta motherfucking put more air in my tire. I gotta get a new tire and inspect that joint to whatever the case may happen, hit a nail or whatever. Motherfuckers will complain about that and then not realize there's someone with a whole no car. They not complaining none, nigga. They got the whole bus schedule on tap, nigga, making it every. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
And the bus sometimes be late, man. There's been high. There's been high. What you want to call it?
like,
Anger and
yeah,
hostility lately. You feel me?
yeah.
Bus has been late and all types of stuff. So I'm like,
Fact.
sometimes that transportation not even on time. But I get what your point is. It's just like they got to take the bus or the train or
Yeah,
whatever.
someone always got a little bit worse than you, and that same person, they ain't gonna be complaining about it, but you're gonna be complaining about the fact that I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it. Everyone's gonna complain. Everyone's gonna feel a certain way about something when you're having a bad day. You can't control your emotions all the fucking time, but just take a step back, try to, and just look at life. You know what I'm saying, and its totality, and try not to go too far with those complaints where it goes overboard. But people is different. You always gonna have somebody come across and they ain't gonna give a fuck about somebody else's situation. Now I'm talking about mine. This is my shit bad. I don't care if your shit bad. No, my shit is just bad, and it really isn't. But anyways, though, salute to the people though, man. Appreciate it. Anybody who comes up in here, man, make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, man. Join the family. We out here. And then as always, notification gang, and then hit the comment section, comment. I know I'm lacking on responding to the comments right now. I'm like 3 days behind, but don't worry. Either after this podcast or Fluence Lounge, whatever the fuck you want to call it, I'll go ahead and respond to a lot of them, or I'm gonna do it tomorrow. Also, check the community board. I got all type of questions for y'all. I know I haven't updated in a couple days. I'm gonna have something new for y'all either tonight or tomorrow. So, salute to the people, man. Keep checking us out. We're gonna keep pumping out the content. We're gonna keep showing love. You know what I'm saying? Realest Boxing channel, man. It's the realest boxing channel. Just a couple of regular niggas, you know what I'm saying, out here just chopping it up and just making ways through life. And you know what I'm saying? We ain't covering nothing up. Ain't no fake shit, man. Especially when the shit get real when we talking, man. We ain't gonna hold nothing back. So support that, goddamn it. We need that in the boxing community because it's too much. It's too much one of the one way or the other way when it comes to big boxing channels. Like I hate that shit, man. It's like either you're race baiting or you're gimmicky, and it's like damn, like you can't just have a I do appreciate the boxing voice. They've been around for the longest, and they've been probably one of the most solid, YouTube channels where they don't necessarily play those lines, but majority for some reason, man, boxing channels be so like they be so infatuated with everything being racially based, and I'm like, nigga, this whatever. But yeah, I think it seems like you have something to say, Zen.
I just don't think people watch film neither, man. I don't think people really take this. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like even with basketball, like when you listen to other basketball, it's crazy because I'm like, you got to be careful on who you listen to, because I'm like, people will deceive you like, oh, I play basketball, you can listen to me, but I'm like, are you really studying the game? Are you really looking at the details? Are you really? Because it's crazy. I was just having a conversation with my homie today. He was saying Kyrie's the most skilled player ever. And I was like, well, I will have to disagree, and I have to say maybe it's Kobe. And he was like, are you seeing? And he just going on his rant. And I'm like, this is all opinion based, of course, but I'm like, I'm listening. I'm like, look, I'm not saying, he's like, you see what Kyrie's doing? I'm just like, he's like, Kobe doesn't do that. I'm like, well, Kobe is also taller, so Kobe doesn't need to do a lot of those extra movements that Kyrie needs to do. He can go right to the post and do the little half spin or whatever he's going to do with the same type of footwork. It's just not as necessarily as dazzling because he's not smaller, and he's not herky jerking and doing all that other stuff. But I'm like, just because you do that doesn't mean you're more skilled. It's just is what you are choosing to do. You know what I'm saying? He was like, well, I've never seen Kobe do a runner with the left hand off the glass. Went right to the YouTube and put up a whole 11-minute highlight of Kobe using his left hand. And sure enough, he used something when he was running off the glass with the left. You know what I'm saying? So I was like,
that's a hard topic because you got to figure out too. You got to narrow down, like, what are you saying as most skilled? I feel like that's kind of a broad assumption. Like that's a broad narrative that you put. Like I think Kyrie is the most skilled. Like, in what aspect are you saying? Are you saying just necessarily in what he's capable of doing on the court? Is that what you're saying? Like, he's the most talented? Is that what you say? Like, what specifically are you?
He was trying to say like almost everything. Basically, he was like his finishing, his dribbling.
So he's basically saying his overall game, no one comes close to it. That's basically what he's saying.
That's what he was trying to say. But then I was sitting there.
Wow.
But see, then I was sitting there. I was like, but you can't tell me that. He was like, no, he took from Kobe's game. I'm like, okay, well, if he took from Kobe's game, that means Kobe's game, his footwork is elite because he clearly had to copy that footwork.
Can I throw something in here?
Go ahead.
And I respect Kobe. I know I would argue Kobe is one of the up there, but for me, if I'm talking the most, like, if I'm looking and I'm saying like talent-wise, I have to put in like your body type as well. And it's much easier for a smaller player to be more skilled when it comes to moving their body, dribbling, things like, because they're closer to the ball. To me, I would say off a high test, I would either say like KD or maybe Jokic. That would be my for most skilled, because I'm like, you're talking about guys who are 7 feet. You know what I'm saying? They're able to do all the things that Kyrie's able to do. So, and to be able to do that at a bigger body type is much harder. It is way harder.
But that was my point. And like you said, this is all opinion based. I'm just saying Kobe because I'm like, I've seen Kobe do a lot of things that I still haven't seen to this day. You know what I'm saying? When I in terms of just like, and I was telling him, like, you got to think of errors too. I'm like, defense is different. Back then when Kobe's playing, you could hand check. Nowadays you can't hand check. So I'm like, that plays into Kyrie's advantage. He knows, oh, you can't do this. I'm gonna hit you with the whoop, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Versus back then, if somebody could put their hand on Kyrie, I'm not saying he couldn't do what he want, but it's gonna be a little different. I'm like, defenders was a little better. Defense was more of an emphasis back then. I'm like, you got scores of 150 now, like it's regular.
And the thing about Kyrie, I really love Kyrie's game. I think it's phenomenal, but I've never been sold where I go over the top with Kyrie because it's phenomenal and beautiful it is. I'm not saying we've seen the things he's done before, but I've seen very phenomenal point guards basically make me look at the game and be like, God damn, I've never seen that before. Or be like, he's obviously right now, he's elevated the point guard position, and whoever follows in a different era is going to have to elevate that. So that's what I kind of see from Kyrie, because I'm like, how are you going to say Kyrie's the most skilled, but then there's Steph? I'm like, Kyrie can't shoot better than Steph. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, the way I think about it is like, I remember at the time when I thought, damn, I just had this motherfucker's name in my head. I remember when I thought Steve Francis was, I'm like, nigga, who could be a better, like, this nigga can dunk on everybody. He's saucing everybody. Like, goddamn. You know what I'm saying? Like, who better than him? And then before that, like, I think Steve Francis came a little bit after Baron Davis. I remember I was watching Baron Davis, like, who? But it's just, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, for me, when we say about Kyrie, it's like I've seen that before. I've seen a lot of point guards be able to do the things Kyrie does, not maybe as beautifully. It doesn't look as beautiful. It doesn't look as smooth. It doesn't look as agile. And I'm not saying also like Kyrie's handles are above and beyond the people I'm talking about. But from an eye test and when I'm watching, like for me to be like Kyrie's the most skilled, it's like, nah, I can't do that because I've seen point guards in eras before him be just as amazing to watch, but then also have the explosive factor behind them as well. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was kind of telling him with Kobe. I'm like, Kobe gonna go dunk on you, bro. Like, oh, he's like, well, I've seen people that don't have no skill and go dunk. I'm like, you talking about a whole different category. You just talk about people with downs. We talking about people with skill and then putting that to dunking. I was like, somebody can come in this room and be like,
we're not talking about a nigga at LA Fitness. Like, come on, we're don't move the
goalposts. And I was like, somebody can come in this room right now and say, you crazy. It's MJ. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm like, who gonna say MJ was? That's a good argument too. He's going like
nigga, and another nigga will come and say, hey, Isaiah Thomas. You want to talk about a little point guard? I'm like, Isaiah Thomas, you destroyed. And my pops was still here. He come and say, no, Dr. J. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
on me, the doctor.
That nigga, I don't. When I was watching the All-Star with my mom, she was like, she kept saying, it's like, oh my God, Dr. Julius, it looks like he's shorter now. I was like, yeah. I'm like, that's when you get older, the bones start to shrink. Shaq's shorter now too. I'm like, Shaq ain't 7'1" no more. That nigga like 6'10".
Yeah, he's for sure shorter.
Yeah. I'm like, them knees, especially basketball players, them knees, man, them things.
They start getting bone on bone. Yeah, they start hunched over. They start getting bad. Football players is worse. They lose about 4 inches, boy. I'd be like, dang, he hunched over.
I give it to Wilkins. When I saw Dominique Wilkins, I was like, I see.
He look good.
He take care. But people don't remember when Dominique Wilkins first retired, and for a little bit, he was overweight.
Because he had that Achilles tear, though. People forget about that.
He had the fat face, and he was first for a while. But I'm like, he got into his older age, and I'm like, he probably was something like, man, I always love seeing that. I'm like, nigga, take care of yourself. You feel me?
But like,
a lot of basketball players be looking
back. But one thing I will give him is I'm like, Kyrie could be probably top 3 finishers of all time, easy. I'm like, the finishes type of finishes he does is kind of crazy. Like Jordan, the only other person really that I kind of seen really do the type of difficulty that he be doing on a night in night basis. As far as
I would say top 3, just because of that's where now his particular physical features. That's where it comes to his advantage now. You know what I'm saying? Where like we're talking about skilled, I feel like he's at a disadvantage because he's smaller. And I'm like, we're talking about dudes who are 7 feet, are kind of doing what he's doing. Obviously not look the same way, but skill.
Now that you say it, like KD, I see why you could say KD. Like you said, I love like you respect
that guy to me.
You respect Kobe and everything, and that's I'ma still pick Kobe, but you saying KD, I have to be like.
You see my favorite player. I could have went with this nigga big, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like most skilled. I'm like off of off of eye test, I always ride with KD. I never seen nothing like this nigga before. I haven't, you know what I'm saying?
Though. His left or right, his handles, his between the leg. He doesn't do over the top shit because he don't got to because he's 7 feet.
Exactly, because he's 7 feet. But if he was a little shorter, he could do all the other shit. I'm telling you, he could do all that, but he doesn't need to. But he can do all of it. You just watch the game and know he got everything in the bag.
But see, this is what I was telling him too. I'm like, look, Jamal Crawford really up there when it comes to handles with Kyrie. You can't tell me nothing different. I'm like, Jamal Crawford has his own cool. He kept saying, but it's like, I get it though. He just was like, I just never see. I'm just like, I understand like Kyrie is a phenomenon, but I'm like, you can't say that he's just doing stuff that you never. I'm like, Jamal Crawford claimed he has 10 moves he's never used in the NBA.
Oh no, you good. Last one. I don't even know if the fight ended. Yeah, it's still going. It's the 11th round right now. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It hasn't been that entertaining. I haven't really been watching.
The I thought it was gonna be better. Who's the black dude? He's getting worse.
That's Gausha. Yeah, he's supposed to lose. He's supposed to lose. Yeah, it's supposed to be.
He's been getting work. He's just been going to the body, and the dude's just been in the corner the whole time.
Yeah, that's kind of been what I've been seeing too. Like when I kind of look at it, it's kind of just been Gausha trying to survive off the ropes and trying not to, he's trying to make it to. It seems like he's just trying to make it to the end of the fight. You know what I'm saying? With no disrespect at all. No disrespect. It's all right. Hey, it's boxing, guys. We're gonna have some slow ass weekends. I'm gonna say the last 3 to 4 weekends we've had slow ass fights. It's been terrible. No disrespect to the fighters, but the But that's because we're gearing up. We got a crazy summer, so.
Hey, I'm telling you, Lost One, if you really go watch his pro-am, he really pulled out a move I've never seen before. This man threw the ball out, and the dude tried to get in. He tapped it in front of him, and then he just did like a little behind the back. Like I've never seen that before. You throw the ball out in front of a person, and before he could grab the ball, he tapped it again. Like, he has a lot of moves.
And then also, too, you got to realize, too, Lost One, just like any professional sport, like think about somebody like Andrade. You know what I'm saying? Stylistically, he could really do some shit in the ring. But if you want to get the win, you don't want people no, actually, let me take that away. Think about the goddamn drunken master, Emmanuel Augustus. He got robbed of, his record looks bad, but he got robbed of most of those fights he lost because they didn't like the fight. They didn't like the fact that he wasn't fighting like a traditional boxer. They felt he was disrespecting the sport because of how he fought. So you can look at it kind of similar to basketball. If you with a team, you got a coach, they're not going to allow him to go strictly in his bag if he's not that nigga. You know what I'm saying? And even if you that nigga, you better be winning games, you know what I'm saying, for you to, go in your bag and go crazy with it, and possibly so. And Jamal Crawford, he was never like a guy on a team where he could just go crazy with it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you coming off the bench, you definitely don't got
you got to make the most. Yeah. I'm like, the only time he only had the chance was that one time in New York after who was it that left? Shit. Was it Stephon Marbury?
Yeah, I think
it was Marbury. After Marbury left, Jamal Crawford had that chance. He was the leader of that team at that time. I remember that nigga was going off. They just sucked.
Yeah, he was going on. He was averaging 20. I remember he had that 56-point game or something like that. He was going crazy.
I feel like that's when everyone took notice of Jamal Crawford when that happened. Even though they sucked, everyone was like, "Man, this nigga is cold." Bro. Like, who is this?
That's dude? When he ended up doing a little shake and bake on Darren Williams. Remember?
Yep, I remember that. Yep.
He did that move, then he did it on Kurt Heimer the next game. They're like, "Dang, he got his own move. I've never seen that before."
I was with my ex the other day. She was playing some music, some old shit. It was like some old shit. But I was like, damn. I was like, every time certain things happen, I'd be like, damn. I was like, we motherfuckers be showing their age, because I'm like, that conversation right there. I'm like, man, niggas getting older. I'm like, ain't no young niggas talking about that. The fact that we remembered it was after Stephon Marbury left. That's some old shit. Like, niggas both had that on point in their head, bro.
Hey, yeah, I know this is a touchy topic. I know everybody hates him and says he needs to go under a jail, but I was playing some R. Kelly the other day, boy. I said, God damn, that motherfucker was cold. This is my song for free, no doubt. And the DJ making it real. I was like, nigga, oh my God.
I saw a post on social media where it's like a chick thing where her father was in the same jail as R. Kelly, and he got R. Kelly to sing happy birthday to her. She was like, oh, I'm so and it's like, if you look at the comments, you're like, man, this is what just got this nigga R. Kelly in jail in the first place. Nigga, you're not supposed to be singing to no women. I was like, niggas is stupid. I'm like, y'all dumb as
get off Kel's head, man. He fighting for his life.
But the caption on the joint of how the chick posted it was like, me and my father go to the same my father and R. Kelly go to the same jail. And the niggas in the comments too was like, I don't think they voluntarily went, my nigga.
I know, that's the wrong way to put it. Put in there. Yeah, that girl's on cloud chasing from her daddy. Like, I'm glad you went to jail here.
That shit was funny. I was like, they both go to the same jail, like they go to high school together or some shit. He said, all I know is if I'm getting paid that much money, going to pull out everything to keep getting that cash. Yeah. And then also, too, I wanted to say something about this, too. We are going to probably have, we're going to have, but that's because we got so many firefights because January, February, March, April, towards the end of April and then just on, it's going to be crazy. So it's like from here to the Tyson Fury Dillian White fight, we're going to have a whole bunch of bullshit.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm ready to see that fight, even though I already know Tyson Fury gonna work that, man.
Eddie Hearn was throwing shade. He was talking about the fight. He was like, I'm so happy that I got outbidded for this fight. I don't want nothing to do with it. I'm actually hearing shit that it may not even happen. And then Bob Arum, he clapped back. I fuck with Eddie Hearn, though, because I'm like, a lot of times when he says something, usually there's some type of weight behind it. So I'm like, and I'm like, I believe it to an extent. I don't believe that it's not going to happen, but I do believe there's a lot of problems behind the fight just because I'm like, who is talking about Tyson Fury for Dillian White? I don't think anybody cares.
Bro, they're saying that's hard to recreate that Wilder because Wilder was the big bad man and knocked everybody out in the ring, and then you got the UK started to beat Klitschko and retired at his peak of his career, and he's kind of trying to make a comeback. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if Wilder was like, I don't want to fight you, I'm going to chase Joshua? Fury's not even relevant, no disrespect to him, but who? You know what I mean? So it's like, Wilder, but see, I think Wilder also did like, even though he probably did want to end up going undefeated, that was his goal. He knew he was like, this is going to be probably the biggest fight even before Joshua, because you got race on your side, you got the heights, the tallest heavyweight fights in history. It got to be the tallest heavyweight fight in history. I don't think there's ever been a 6'9" boxer and a 6'7" boxer in the ring.
At the same time, yeah, no, I don't think so.
Never.
Yeah.
So you had so many components that made that fight. You feel me? Joshua versus Wilder is just black on black. You feel me?
And racially motivated as well. I'm like, people don't understand how big race is still a factor when it comes to selling boxing fights, unfortunately. But that is, y'all see it. I was just talking about it. Like, y'all see it. Go to the majority of the big boxing channels. It's either one or two things. You got one of them where it's all race, you know what I'm saying, driven. It's all like, this is the people we're riding behind, and then you go to the other side with just gimmicks, which I'll never understand. But hey, get your money. I'm like, if you figure out how to way to get money, then why say no to it? But now I'm gonna say no to it, man. Fuck all that shit. I ain't about that racial. That shit is stupid. Where like I had somebody drop a comment on Charlo versus Munguia happened. They were like, trust me, bro. If Munguia beat Charlo, he would be a superstar. And I'm like, no, he wouldn't. I'm like, if anything, maybe casual boxing fans would kind of have an idea of who Munguia is, but not too many people pay attention to him. Even though I feel like he should have more eyes. He was like, trust me, bro. All these Mexican fans want is for the Mexican favorite fighter to beat a black fighter, and now they a superstar. And I really want to just respond and be like, nigga, do you think it's that easy? You think that's how you make superstars when it comes to business? But I just let it go. I'm like, there's no point for me to talk to him, because I'm like, you think this whole shit is just racially driven, and it's not, nigga. This is business. Yes, I'm not saying there's not racial factors behind certain decisions, because it can coincide with business and make more money, i.e. Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, because we can play the Deontay Wilder saving black people. Tyson Fury is gypsy, great white hope. And like, yes, when that plays into the factors, you can make the most money out of it, then yes, that's part of it. But majority of the time, it's very rare. Like we said, that was a historical trilogy. Majority of the time, that shit does not matter, nigga. Just because they have a big Mexican fan base and they have a big African American fan base, that's not going to swing the goalposts. You know what I'm saying? But it's like people just don't want that to be the case. They always want it. Everything got it. But I ain't gonna get it. I don't want to do that. Last one said Hearn is salty. So I don't think Eddie Hearn. So he said Hearn was mad he missed the purse bid. He's been taking all the shine like last 5 years. He's taking the shine this year too. No one's outbeating Hearn this year. He has literally the biggest fights out of all the promoters going on. He has the Canelo trilogy. He has Dillian White versus Tyson Fury. Regardless of what we want to say, he missed the purse bid, but Dillian White is his fighter, so he's a part of the fuck. He's the part of it in the sense of he's gonna get some get back on the money. Then he just what was the other fight he just made? Shit, I can't remember. But he's I'm telling you right now, he's killing the game when it comes to this year, because he just did something else that was mad crazy that he got the fight to work out. I just can't remember off the top. I hope White wins just after all the crap he went through for this fight. And even now Warren is messing him around, and WBC only giving the man 6 tickets. Does this not go back to business, right? It ain't got nothing to do with race here. It's just going to like,
they only gave him 6 tickets. That's messed up. Damn,
he can't even have his family.
I know. Maybe he has 7 kids. They can't. He get one better than that come.
I know he gonna have to be like, all right, look, I love you, little nigga, but you know you can watch this at the crib. Don't even worry about it.
Oh, I forgot about that. That is coming. Devin Haney Cambosos.
Also, too, I'm gonna do the videos tomorrow. But Usyk versus Anthony Joshua is back on. That's going to happen.
It is.
It's been speculation. We don't know, but Usyk has confirmed through his Instagram. I could probably pull that up. Fuck it, I could. But yeah, he confirmed through it. Oh, by the way, Tszyu versus Terrell Gausha, that's over now. It's interesting not watching the fight, and you just look at both of the fighters. Tszyu has way more damage on his face, but I know he won. Yeah. So he won. Yeah, he got the unanimous decision. Got the belt too. Respect from both fighters. Solid fight. I don't know. It might be a little trouble for Tim at 154. Be careful calling out Jamal. But yeah, it's confirmed. Usyk, he's gonna start training for that rematch. He said he feels comfortable with his decision, and he's gonna go forward with it.
Damn. Lost one's new comment.
He did have a kid at 13. I think he has I think he has 4 or 5. He has 4 or 5. But I do remember he had a kid at 13. He had Dylan White had a rough upbringing. I have nothing but respect for Dylan White. That's why I'm such a big fan of him.
13, bro, that's ridiculously young. He
Well,
really didn't know what he was doing. He was just in there like, didn't even know the baby's gonna come. He probably looked up like, girl, what happened to your belly?
Yeah, I know. He was probably like, you fool? Like, you might need to use the bathroom. That thing ain't came out yet. What's going on with you?
I'm pregnant. That motherfucker probably went through up. Oh no.
That nigga probably was like, huh? I don't even know what that means. What do you mean you pregnant? Like, I have your kid. How can you have my kid? How does that even work? And then they, I guess, sit down and they talk about the birds and the bees. You know what I'm saying? So if you do this, this is what ends up happening. Oh, damn.
That's why you were created.
Like, okay, that makes sense. But yeah, I think he has like 3. I think he has like 4 or something like that. He don't got a crazy amount, but that is disrespectful though. I'm like, come on, bro. How y'all only gonna give him six tickets? That don't even make no sense. Let me share this real quick though with y'all. I decided I was gonna go to his Instagram at first, but I was like, let me just go to the article. I'm gonna sit right there.
Hey, I agree with Lost One, man. If I have to put money on it, I'm putting my money double down on Usyk, boy. I ain't gonna make the same mistake twice.
Oh yeah, you did put your money on Josh for the first time, huh?
Bum ass bitch. But there's no disrespect to you, Josh. I don't want to come at you like that. But you may be hot.
That nigga, he might end up watching this one day and he'd be like, nigga, I ain't never gonna give y'all an interview. Fuck y'all. I remember that nigga Zien talking shit.
Hey, what if he really reimbursed me on the money I lost? I'm like, you a real nigga for life.
You know, I don't know if you've seen it though. I talked about Big Baby Miller. He had a court date a couple of days ago, man. They're gonna they're gonna shorten his sentence, man. They're gonna let him come back after June, man.
Hopefully he just doesn't mess up from here on out, man. He really just stays on the straight and straight.
You want to hear some fucked up shit though when it comes to that? My man's broke.
What you mean?
He ain't got no money.
Big Baby? Yeah. How do you know?
My bad, y'all. Y'all see the little. He said it in his because they had to have a court hearing. The court hearing, and he had to basically talk to the people and be like, yo, you know, this is the case. Like, this is why I feel like you should short my sentence, et cetera, why I should move forward. Excuse me, sorry. And one of the things he said was, look, I'm fighting for my life. You know, more or less, this isn't word for word, but more or less, I'm fighting for my life. I lost my wife. My wife took my son away from me. I'm in court fighting just so I can see him. I'm paying for all the legal fees. I'm struggling to pay the legal fees. This is my only source of income. I need to get back to boxing. Like, this is more than just me trying to have a career. Like, this is for my son, so I can see him again. And then he said he lost his house too. And then he says for him to be able to, you know, take care of his mother as she, you know, gets older in age. And apparently the way that they were going to shorten the sentence was if he enrolled in VADA during the entirety of the time, right? And he did random drug testing. Well, he did for the first month of his of when he was suspended, right? Which was about 2 years ago, 2 years ago. So he was doing it for the first month, and then he dropped out and he stopped. And basically the commissioner of NSAC, he was like, you know, that's not a good look. But he was like, he ended up telling him, he was like, look, I didn't do it because I didn't want to do it or I'm trying to hide something. He was like, I don't have the money to do it. A lot of people don't know when boxers are enrolled in Nevada drug testing, they have to pay for it themselves. It comes out of pocket, out of whatever source of the income. So no one's covering that for them. So he was just honest. He was like, I couldn't cover it. Like I didn't have no income coming in. I was dealing with this court shit, crib, you know, my wife, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what he said. But he re-enrolled this past month because obviously this was my speculation. This is allegedly, I don't know if it's true, but I'm pretty sure his team, his promoter and his manager, they came to him and said, look, your suspension is going to come up. We're going to talk to the people, you know, hopefully they'll, you know, be able to shorten a little bit where you're out of, you know, you're back in summer. Even if you're not back in the summer, you'll be back before the end of this year. Either way, even if they don't want to shorten it, you know, we'll go ahead with, let's re-enroll back in Nevada and we'll pay for it for you. And that's basically essentially what Big Baby Miller said at the stand. He basically said, look, I'm back in and that's what they ended up shortening the sentence because he did re-enroll in the last month and he's been doing it consistently for the last month. But he said he's like basically my manager and my co-promoter they're the ones financially keeping me stable. So it's crazy, man. I remember when we were talking about Big Baby, man, he was on top of the fucking world, dog. So hearing that, I was like, Jesus, man.
I mean,
I
he
was
was
in.
saying Water and all them was bums, and now they got all the money.
Well, yeah. And like my perspective from it was like, think about being Big Baby. Like he was going to get the biggest bag of his life. A lot of people don't know he was basically like a free agent. He was an independent fighter. He did management, all that stuff, all himself, all the way up to the Joshua fight. Then he signed to Eddie Hearn. So all the money he was getting, he was keeping himself. Because even so, he was making cool money, but at least he wasn't splitting it. You know what I'm saying? Other than with his team. When he got to Eddie Hearn, obviously for the Joshua fight, he was gonna get the biggest bag of his life. He was gonna make sure his kids were straight from that bag. Lost it. This is at like 28, 29, the prime of your life. Loses it, and now at 34, 35-year-olds, you're literally rock bottom. Like the mental, like the mindset of that, like just to try and fathom that is like crazy to me. Like that's wild. But yeah, hopefully he's back. Maybe in July, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Yeah, I'm thinking July, August, maybe. But he'll be back before the end of the year for sure fighting. Last one said, I thought AJ had a chance before, but now Usyk's just coming back from war in Ukraine. He's going to be untouched. That's a fact. Miller was working security for Jake Paul, like actual security, I think. And that's interesting you said that last one because I don't know this shit. I hope it's not being like too choppy, but I saw him in that video, and I didn't know if he was there kind of being somebody's boy, but maybe he was trying to, get some money to keep things afloat. That's how I feel too, man. I'm happy you feel that way because a lot of people don't feel like that. No, I ain't speak to. I wish, man, but no, that was off of his hearing for see if they were going to shorten.
Hey, Lost, man, he had some good intel, huh, boy? You act like you think he was there. I'm like, damn, that motherfucker got in depth intel.
Reading that shit. When I do the videos on them joints, that should be there. But y'all can see here, Usyk confirms plans for rematch against Anthony Joshua in Instagram post. I just want to go to the post real quick if they show it. Let's see. I don't usually do. Here's the post. This is what he basically said in his post because I'm gonna bring this down because it's making this shit choppy. That's how I will help my country more and more. It's better than being in territory defense and running around Kiev with a machine gun. Oh, let me go to the beginning. Wait a second. I've decided to start preparing for a rematch with Anthony Joshua. It's only a 42-second video, and then in it, that's how I will help my country more, and it's better than being in territorial defense and running around Kiev with a machine gun. So he's coming back, yo. How you feel about that? Do you think there's going to be any difference when it comes to this particular rematch, or are we going to probably have like the same thing, basically?
He going to work Joshua, man. Joshua's not going to be able to duck from that left. Yeah, he's not going to use the big boy tactic. Usyk is just too slick of a fighter, man. From what I seen last time, I'm just like, he's just too slick, popping him with that jab.
Yeah, I don't
might actually fight better.
Especially with everything going on. The one thing I am worried about, I wonder with everything happening, and it's been scheduled for June 5th. Eddie Hearn said he's not coming off that date. We're in March. April is coming, so that's giving him maybe like 2 months, maybe like 2.5 months to prepare for the fight. I hope that's not going to be a factor. I'm like, is this enough time for him to? Because I don't know what he's been doing with all these things going on. I don't know if he's been staying in shape, if he's been, but I'm hoping the amount of time he has for his training camp. I'm not saying it's short in any type of way, but we'll see. You know how boxing is, man. I'm like, it's interesting to me. I'm like, okay, he's good. Hopefully there's enough time in there because Eddie Hearn has adamantly said he's not changing the date.
What's the date?
June 5th, I want to say.
That's plenty of time.
It's 2 months.
What's
2 months? No, we're about to be in
I guess you're
April.
Right. 2 months. That's plenty of time though. Training camp usually like a month and a half.
It's usually about a month and a half, 2 months, but it all depends on too what the fighter was doing before. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times the reason why they schedule that type of training camp is because I'm like, even though they'll be out of camp, there'll be a good amount of fighters that they're doing something to kind of make sure the muscle memory is kind of staying in place. Usyk dealing with this war, etc. I'm like, I wonder if that could be the best. But Usyk been doing a long time. He goddamn Olympian, gold medalist. So I won't doubt. The thing about this fight, AJ doesn't have to beat that old Usyk he fought. In the last fight, he's fighting an Usyk that has already schooled him and has a fire in his belly from the Ukraine stuff. True. I'm sure that will play on Joshua's mind too. It plays on. Yeah, I wonder if that's going to help his confidence or if it's going to make him be a little bit more weary. Because I feel like going into the rematch before the Ukraine stuff, he was probably pretty confident again, and he wanted to get back in there and all that type of stuff. But I wonder if this will be a negative effect on his how he'll approach the fight.
Who, Joshua?
Yeah,
I'm scared because I'm like, think about it. He was more in a calmer state, if you want to say so, and he just really used his boxing skills. Now he's gonna be in a machine state. Like, I'm taking this out on you, my boy. Like,
this is for
how
my
I feel,
country.
yeah,
I'm
how I feel
representing my
about how my
country.
people feel is how I'm gonna display it on you. Like, he's like a beacon of hope. He's in a sense, you know, like when Ali went to the when he fought George, and everybody was like, going against Ali, like he finally gonna get schooled. George is a different speed. You see how he did Joe Frazier, everybody's just going against Ali. You feel me? Like, and when he went and beat, you feel me? It's gonna be something like that. I feel like he might not rope a dope, but you get what I'm saying? He gonna have to get in there and get it going.
Yeah, I honestly think like the question is too that I want to know, what will this do to Joshua? If Joshua loses to Usyk, what's really there left for him? You know what I'm saying?
Wilder.
That's it though. That's probably the only interesting fight that I would want to see, Joshua in. But like other than that,
Ortiz.
Nah, not really, bro.
You wouldn't want to watch him fight Ortiz?
Not really. I'm like the mystique. To me, the mystique behind Joshua was, who would have ever thought we would have a heavyweight who has the entire package? Looks certain way, looks like a fucking beast, knocking niggas out. This dude, and he's from the UK. I ain't never seen this before. But as soon as the Ruiz fight happened, kind of took away from the spectacle. The second Ruiz fight, people don't want to talk about. In my opinion, I think the second Ruiz fight damaged his image more than the first, because he changed his whole entire way of boxing. And then from there, it's almost like, well, Joshua, if we're not judging you off of the fact that you are just a brute force and you look like a physical motherfucking tank, and now you're telling us you're a boxer, you see what I'm saying? Like the whole entire aspect changes, because I'm like, nigga, you're not a boxer. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you beat Pulev, but is that saying much? My man Pulev, he's about to be on the second card for the Triller joint, the triad shit. So obviously Pulev ain't been. I'm just saying. I just don't know where Joshua could go from here if you want me to be 100. Like if he loses to Usyk, I literally feel all he has is the Wilder fight, and that's after that. We talking about a man who's just fighting just to fight, and I don't know if that's in Joshua. But that might sound disrespectful. I'm not lying. That might, because I'm like, obviously he's done amazing things, but I'm like, I don't know if it's in him to just fight, just to enjoy fighting, rather than being the dude who's on the top or trying to get to the top. Yeah, that's a good point too, because yeah, I guess the only other fight I would like to see AJ versus White too. That would be a cool fight. AJ versus Tyson Fury. Like if AJ loses to Usyk, we know we're not gonna get AJ versus Tyson Fury. And if Tyson Fury beats White, we're not gonna get that, because we're gonna have Fury versus Usyk, and then I'm pretty sure he'll probably retire after that unless Deontay Wilder comes back and knocks the nigga out, and there's warranted for a fourth fight.
I'll watch that motherfucker.
Yeah, the biggest fight in heavyweight right now is a fourth fight between Fury and Wilder. Tell me a bigger fight right now.
Your best bet would be Wilder versus Joshua. That'd be the second biggest.
Mm-hmm. Maybe Joshua versus Fury. Maybe. But I don't know. For some reason, I feel like that's just not a fight a lot of people want to see.
Because he doesn't have the punching power. Like Wilder, everybody's like, he could knock that nigga. You feel me?
You know what's crazy? I think Joshua does, but it goes back to he played himself on that second Ruiz fight and changed his style. So now we're saying, Joshua, you gonna try and go in there and outbox Usyk? You gonna try and go in there and outbox Tyson Fury? Like, rather than if he's still knocking niggas out and being a force of nature like he used to be, then we'll be more excited. Like, okay, I can see Joshua trying to play bully mode with Tyson or trying to play bully mode with Usyk. All right, I'm all in. That's not really what he's giving us. That'd be interesting. I think AJ's ego is too big to retire for some reason. Yeah, AJ Wilder. That's his probably like his. That's a perfect example. It'll be like Con Brook. Yeah, that's exactly what it'll be like. And I still watch it and love it because I watched Con Brook. I knew Brook was gonna win, and they talking about Khan talking about a rematch already, but he got to get a warm up fight. Even though I think Khan should retire, like
he should have been retired after Crawford did what he did to him, man. I'm like, man, get up out of here.
Someone got mad at me about the video I posted on Khan. Well, he didn't get mad, but I thought he had a good comment. But he was like, "I'm tired of Khan getting disrespected. He don't never quit." I was like, he don't, but
He get knocked out, boy.
Maybe he should, man.
He be getting work, boy.
Maybe now is the time to think about quitting, possibly.
No new news on Bud, man. They just not gonna give him no fight, man.
What was Bud's in that goddamn lawsuit with Bob? So he can't get a fight. He can't do anything until that shit's resolved. He can't sign with nobody, nothing.
So, but did he create the lawsuit or
yeah, he accused of Bob Arum of being racially motivated when it comes to certain business he did with him, and then he said he owes him some money, or he should at least have more money in his pockets. You know what I'm saying?
What do you think?
What do I think about the whole thing, man? I'm like, hey, look, the way the play I see it is similar to the Canelo play with DAZN and Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions. The only difference is that Terrence is legitimately out of his contract, so he can go wherever the fuck you want. He's actually holding himself up by filing this lawsuit. Canelo he still had a lot of years left with Golden Boy Promotions, but he leveraged that lawsuit to get out before that. So I'm not really sure the motive from Crawford. I don't know what he's going to get out of this other than losing time. Like, yeah, he'll probably get some more money from, Arum, but I don't understand. Me personally, I don't understand the motive behind it. Like, I know you probably, even if all of the things you're saying is true, what will you gain from it that will
propel you?
Yeah, propel you then from where you already are. Like, what's the motive behind it? I don't get it.
What's the advantage?
Yeah, I don't understand.
You just want some more money for future security.
But I'm like, I feel like you can get that and more once you start doing these mega fights. Yeah. And like, shit, be your own promoter, goddammit. Keep the money in house. Have niggas do co-promotional deals with you. Like, obviously, we know his only choice is he's going to have to sign with PBC. That's his only choice.
Mm-hmm. Unless he wants to mess with Eddie Hearn.
The only thing about Eddie Hearn, though, is he doesn't have access to, because I'm like, all the 147s, everyone he's named that he wants to fight are all with PBC. He's like, before I retire, I want to fight Keith Thurman, Earl, and Ugas. And he said, if I can't get those fights, then I want to, fight the winner of Castano Charlo 2 and become undisputed at 154, then retire. All them niggas.
He wants to retire soon, basically.
Yeah, he said he doesn't plan to fight past like 37. I'm like, he's 34 now, so talking about 3 years. So talking about maybe like 3 to 4 fights left. Yeah. And if not 3 to 4 fights, then have that one fight where, you fight the winner of Charlo and Castano, maybe defend the belt one more time and then leave. Because I'm like, either or, fighting Thurman, Spence, Ugas, or being undisputed at 154. It's going to be the same for your legacy. You're going to be great. You're probably going to be more great actually being undisputed at 154, to be honest with you. Because all the guys were talking about you fighting, like Spence talking about he's going to go up to 154. So I'm like, his legacy, what we think we'll remember from him might be, a mixture of 140. So, it's boxing, goddammit. Oh, it's weird shit. When's yeah, he got Ugas, man. That's April 16th. April 16th. Right. Yeah, that sounds right. April 16th, Ugas Spence. Which there's reports that supposedly they haven't enrolled in VADA drug testing. Trying to make claims like there's a needle involved. I'm skeptical about the Earl fight. I actually think we have more of a chance to get Earl and Terrence at 154 than we do at 147. How weird is that? Even Earl even is talking about, I'll fight Jermell Charlo if the money's right. That nigga won't even say that about Crawford. That's why I don't understand it. I don't get it. I'll be trying to.
You don't want to fight him because he has to fight somebody that can switch stances, and that scares him because now he has to adapt. Exactly.
Sean Porter style gave you a problem. What the fuck you think Crawford's gonna do?
Exactly.
Ugas, man, he's gonna beat Ugas unless Ugas really comes with a different type of, not a different game plan, but he really comes like he's just there, ready, game, and his jab is ridiculous defense. Spence is gonna beat Ugas. Ugas is tailor made for Spence to beat him because he stays right in front of him. That body's gonna be there all day for Spence, and he's gonna eat it up. I'm not saying he's gonna knock him out or anything like that, but he's gonna win on points. What's good with the
He
JJ?
was
They
working
they
him,
did a I know from what I watched, I'm like they did a split decision. I'm like, there's no way that shit should have been no split decision. That
It
was
should have been
very easy,
119 or 109.
bro.
He was getting in that corner like this the whole
Every
fight.
time, boy, just the
I'm
only
like,
thing,
man.
only thing Gausha had was throw like he'll be like "Dick, dick," and then he'll do the little hook to try and get off of the ropes, but it wasn't landing. It was just for him to get off the ropes. He wasn't landing shit that looked like it made Tim feel any type of way. That is a motherfucking fact. How you feeling though, young Zen, man? How was your day? Type shit, man.
It
Damn, it's
was better.
11:21. I'm feeling light up in a minute. I enjoy my Saturdays, y'all. I gotta enjoy my Saturdays. I have long weeks. Go ahead, bro. My bad.
Oh no, you good. I was just saying, like, it was good. You feel me? I understand how to move forward from my debacle. So I'm like, that's good. I have higher hopes. I gotta still figure out certain things though, because that's threw a little wrench in my road because you're not expecting that. But I'm gonna try to figure that out. But other than that though, you see what I'm saying, I'm alive, so I still have a fighting chance. So all in all, I say is like, and I got to see the homie. We got to talk and reminisce, and you know what I'm saying, and just kind of talk. And we kind of was harping on some stuff we was talking about purpose and stuff like that. So it was like, kind of refreshing. Just he even appreciates like, I needed this. Like I haven't really taken a break or nothing. I was like, dang, my bad if you had something to do. He's like, nah, man, like I appreciate it because I'm like, I need, so I'm like,
People don't realize how important good conversation is, man. Because it's rare. Because a lot of times you got to fake it because you're in environments where it's like you're around people, your jobs and all that type of shit. Like, So go ahead, my bad.
Oh no, you good. So I say like a 4.5 because my mom ended up getting me some good food. She was like, "You want some food?" And I was like, "Yeah, shit." I was like, "Yeah, I'll take that grub, boy." So
Have you ate already or are you waiting?
maybe I made you that breakfast like earlier, but it was just some eggs
I
and
mean,
some
the
ham.
food your mom got you. Did you eat that yet or you
No,
wait?
no,
That's
no,
for the
no, no,
night.
no, no. It's tonight.
Okay.
I don't want to eat, so I wasn't sluggish on this joint. So I was like, I'm gonna wait and get into that later.
Yeah, I got some good food waiting for me too. I'm being sloppy tonight out here. I'm eating. Got really good food. I can't wait for that. My day was good though. A solid day. I give it like a 4.3, 4.4, something like that. It was a good day, man. Woke up, watched. I forgot what show I watched. Oh, I watched Superman Lois. And then after that, I watched. I watched the last. I watched Bel Air, and then I fell asleep. I took a nap to Left Us Dead. Woke up from the nap, went to the park. Um, had a little fun at the park. Um, Came back to the crib. Here now. Good Saturday, man.
What kind of food you get
I got wings and I got wings. I got wings,
from that
fries, and then I
place?
got some shrimp. Not from that place. I went to a different place. I went
Oh,
to a place where they do breaded wings. They fire. Cause I wanted breaded wings this time, so I got that in there. It's gonna be fire. So I'm gonna eat that.
damn.
Watch some. It's 11:24 Saturday night. I love my Saturdays, man. But yeah, good motherfucking day. I want to say something to this real quick. To last one. I think we will get it for one simple reason. The money is just too good. As much as I want to believe that, I actually don't think the money's that good. The money's only too good if Terrence Crawford signs with PBC. If he
That
doesn't,
money's gonna be crazy.
exactly. Which you probably will, because who he's looking at. JJ says Ugas has no chance if they have this type of judging. And let's be
You
honest,
really not lying though, boy.
Ugas period though has an uphill battle. Because I'm like, come on, they don't want him to win. They didn't want him to win against Manny Pacquiao. It was just too goddamn evident they couldn't give it to him. They were
Yeah,
like,
he was
okay, we
piecing
can't.
him up.
Yeah, motherfuckers gonna go crazy if I go. All right, let me. But I feel like Thurman did the same job against Pacquiao, and they robbed Thurman. Niggas to this day want to tell me Pacquiao won that fight. No, he
All
didn't.
because of the flash knockdown, man.
Yeah, bro. I'm like, how you gonna give him off of one? But anyways, because I'm like, Thurman worked Pacquiao the last 6 rounds.
Pacquiao got tired.
Jesus,
That
he
energy
was
and that
taking
gas
so much
tank.
damage from Thurman. But anyways, I'm not even gonna go into that. But yeah, I don't. Ugas is gonna be hard for him. It's gonna be hard for Ugas to get the W over Earl. Come on now. Not because I'm saying Ugas isn't on the same skill level. I'm just like, all the money's behind Earl. Come on now. I'm not saying it's tailor made. I'm like, that's not what I'm saying either. So I'm like, don't think I'm on that bullshit. But anyways, I won't delve too much into it. And nigga said he needs 13 rounds to get a win. Nigga said they need to add an extra round just so he has a possibility and a chance to get the W. That's
Did you
crazy.
see that Gervonta made like a comment of like him might possibly leaving TMT?
Yeah, and make sure y'all motherfuckers go check out my video on this shit. Hell yeah, I seen that joint. Yeah, he did. He had like 2 or 3 tweets where he was just alluding to the fact that, and tomorrow when I drop, hopefully I drop it tomorrow. If I don't, y'all, nothing but love. I'm gonna do it for show money. Y'all know I got your money through Thursday at the very least. But, yeah, he was basically saying the reason why TMT was forcing him to take this fight against Rolly, or they wanted him to fight so much, is because it's his last fight on his contract. And so I chalked it up. I was like, it's either one or two things. And this kind of does this not go back and kind of, what's the word? Somewhat support my original, conspiracy theory on the, allegations and all that stuff. Because if Gervonta Davis is like, and then Romero himself, he said, look, he was supposed to fight Issa before me, but I activated my mandatory and I fucked everything up. Think about that. Now that I hear this extra information, I'm like, okay, now shit's starting to add up. They want to make sure Rolly was his last fight. Why? One or two things. Either they think Rolly might beat him, or two, they want to try and get the most out of, the bag of Gervonta Davis before he decides to either leave or, want more money if he decides to resign, or maybe have a co-promotional deal, whatever the case may be. I'm like, it's either one or two. So I'm like, okay. Yeah.
You think he wins, or you think Rolly beats him?
I still got Gervonta winning. But I think people are going to be surprised. I think it's going to be a pretty ugly fight. The same, because I'm like, you guys think about it. Issa Cruz is a smaller version of Rolly. You know what I'm saying? It's just the output from Issa Cruz is a lot more than Rolly. Rolly doesn't. His output isn't the same. He's more of a one shot type guy. But from a little bit of clips I've seen from his training, it seems like they're trying to do something a little bit different, where they're using his distance. They're trying to keep the opponent at the end of his punches, etc. Use his size. Who knows if that translates to the ring? Because at the end of the day, you go back to what you know. But I honestly think it's going to be. I think we're going to be in for a surprise. I think it's going to be a close fight. Gervonta is going to get the nod from the judges. I don't think it's going to be split. I think it's going to be unanimous. But I think a lot of people are going to be saying Gervonta is not the guy you guys are trying to tell us. That's what I think.
Interesting take.
And that's no disrespect to my guy Gervonta.
Interesting take. So what if Devin Haney loses to Kambosos? Then what?
Devin Haney's not gonna lose to Kambosos. Come on now. That's like saying Shakir Stevenson might lose to Oscar Valdez. Like, that's not hot. These two young niggas is too.
So why did Teofimo Lopez lose?
Well, remember he had that illness. I'm not taking away from Teofimo. I'm not taking away from Kambosos' win. Warranted, surprised everyone. Beautiful job, but we can't take away the facts that there was reports that came out that he had a very bad illness and that he decided to continue to fight, and the doctor said he could have possibly died. And if you guys want to kind of have a contrast, Virgil Ortiz, he recently pulled out. Was it last weekend? The Belair Flair Cobbs fight or whatever. He was supposed to be the main event. He pulled out of something called rhabdo, I believe. And it was something similar. If he would have continued and fought, he had a chance to die if he wouldn't have gotten taken care of. So Teofimo ultimately did the opposite. He said, I'm gonna just shit. I can't. I'm a fight. And ultimately he did lose, but that nigga gonna be fine.
Then why didn't he get a rematch? I'm not understanding.
Well, he broke his his wrist or his hand or something. He had surgery, so he's just now coming back from the surgery. Then he had ordered from the doctors because of the illness. He had to take a step away from the sport. But now he's moving up, so that's another thing. We can also, I can't remember what the illness was, but we can maybe contribute the illness to him cutting so much goddamn weight. So he's at 140 now. He's not going back down to 135. But he said that. He said he had plans to move up and fight Josh Taylor after beating. He was basically saying, I'm gonna beat Kambosos, vacate the belts, and I'm gonna go fight Josh Taylor. Because he said he couldn't make that weight anymore.
We got Devin Haney Lomachenko next. He wins.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Loma. I don't know what. I don't know. I don't know where if Devin Haney beats Kambosos, I honestly don't know where he goes from here, because we're talking about Gervonta Davis possibly leaving TMT. Maybe going up to 140. Kambosos is saying he would love to fight Gervonta now. I don't know. I'm like, it's always interesting me when it comes to boxing, especially certain divisions. We'll get so hyped because we think certain things are going to happen. And then it gets to a certain point where none of it happens, and then we're just like, all this shit is in shambles now, and the division is nothing what we thought it was gonna be. Right
Facts.
now, we
Ryan
just like, what the
Garcia
fuck
is
going on?
quiet.
Yeah. Remember, we thought all these niggas was gonna fight each other like a year ago. Like when the pandemic was popping, nigga, they had us turd, nigga.
Be like, this gonna happen. This gonna happen. Tefima
Bruh.
is back.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know about this. Appreciate you for that, JJ. Cambosos has a rematch clause in his favor. So we'll probably get 2 fights between Devin Haney and Cambosos, and then now I'm leaning toward what you just said. I think afterwards we'll probably see Devin Haney versus Loma. Makes sense.
That's kind of crazy for how young he is. He gonna have all these fights. If he wins all these fights, bro, he damn near gonna be on the GOAT status.
Him and Shakur have the brightest future. Like I don't see anybody beating these 2 guys. Shakur is actually more skilled than Devin Haney, in my opinion. He has but Devin Haney, he's fucking a beast. I just want Devin Haney to work on his balance and his defense a little bit more. I feel like you're getting away with some things because you're young, you're athletic, you're bigger than a lot of these guys. But I'm like, man, you gotta. But I saw some improvements from his last fight, but I'm like, man, you gotta work on some of the things. But I know he is. He's a fucking student.
Yeah, Shakur is crisp. That's a crisp southpaw.
Shakur is solid in every area. I don't even know. But I remember like 5-6 years ago, I used to watch like Boxing Ego and Dante Box Nation, all that stuff. All they would talk about was Shakur and Devin Haney, sparring each other and their next big things and all that stuff. So that's why I'm and it's true. Out of everyone they were talking about, them 2 are the niggas that are really showing to be like they might be the next, you know what I'm saying?
Mega star.
Yeah. Both of them fire.
So is Ryan Garcia just gonna be a model, man? Is it over?
No, he got a fight coming up. He's fighting April 15th, something like that. It gets to go. A guy we don't know, but he's fighting.
Jesus.
He's fighting. You didn't hear about all the bullshit with Canelo talking shit and all the type of not Canelo. Oscar started the shit talk, but Canelo responded.
Yeah, Canelo says
Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, he's saying like he doesn't take it serious or something like that, and
which I thought wasn't fair to Ryan. Because Ryan wasn't even the one who initiated. Ryan never said anything about leaving Eddie Reynoso. Oscar De La Hoya put that out there. But then Canelo responded by putting down Ryan Garcia. And I'm just like, damn, that's fucked up. So I'm in support of Ryan when he came back at Canelo and was like, no, that's not true. But everyone's saying he's a spoiled kid. Also, he's from where we're from, but he's a spoiled kid, all that stuff. I'm like, he never even said anything. Like, this nigga left camp he been left that camp. And he's never said anything. We just found out because Oscar said something. And y'all attacking this little nigga. Like, that's fucked up.
Oscar is a drama queen, man.
I can't stand Oscar, bro. That's probably the worst promoter. I'm like, I used to hate Rob Earl, but as I've grown and learned, I'm like, no, I would never want to sign to Oscar, bro. That would be the last thing.
I see why Floyd really be like talking his shit towards Oscar. He like, you wearing that dress.
Oscar, man. I'll be like, it's funny too, because whenever I do like questions in the community board that has to do with Oscar, like whose fault you think this is? Niggas, I could tell people do not like Oscar De La Hoya because they always choose Oscar De La Hoya. Even though I'll be like, it really wasn't his fault, but people just be like, nah, if his name is involved and some bullshit happened, I'm gonna put it on that.
Oscar, nigga. Yeah, God. Yeah, like, Oscar gotta be the one.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, they don't be showing that nigga no love, nothing. I'm like, oh, okay, well.
But it's crazy because at one point in time, he really was a bad boy.
Yeah, he was nothing to fuck around with. He's a legend, like at the end of the day when it comes to boxing. But as a promoter, man, he's on the Michael Jordan side again. Like when it comes to business, on the like Michael Jordan just now starting to make some shit pop off and happen.
Well, getting LaMelo Ball, regardless of what people want to say, was the best thing he could have did for his franchise.
Yep. Changed his whole franchise because if we wouldn't have got him and would listen to everybody like don't his daddy, all that type shit, he'd have been fucked. They still be trash.
Garbage. The Melo really changing like just because you know how to play basketball.
Still be hoping Terry Rose would be Kobe for them niggas.
There's no disrespect. It's crazy because good, no, Terry's good, but LaMelo's basically doing more than him already in the second year of his career.
Well, Terry's just one, he's smaller, but also like Terry he's just a scorer though. He's not a point guard.
Yeah, that's true.
Like he's not a point guard, period. He's just a pure scorer. He don't make nobody around him better. So that was the problem with him, in my opinion, personally.
But getting IT is big though, because I feel like that's going to even help LaMelo even more. That was big by Jordan to do that.
Yeah, I'm happy he did that too. Gotta give that nigga a chance, man. Like
He's
I ain't
been
like
playing
seeing them
good too.
shot
He had a
down
good
like
game
that.
yesterday. He hit some big shots.
Y'all fucking up because y'all ain't picking up the right people. I'm like, there's niggas out there y'all can pick up. Like, y'all should got Jamal Crawford, man.
He retired.
That nigga said he'll come back. He said, I just need a team. He
Oh,
said no teams was fucking with him.
yeah. I don't know why we don't get Jamal, but like that's gonna just add to the old campaign.
Shit, y'all should got Michael Beasley, nigga.
We should still get him.
But y'all ain't, man. It's politics now. You think y'all,
I
you
get
think y'all
Michael
gonna make the
Beasley.
playoffs?
I don't
Like,
know.
for
We
real, for
looking
real.
shaky, bro. We looking
Because how many
shaky.
games is left? Because we're almost at the end, right?
Like
There's
8, 9 games left.
only like 9 games. How many would they have to win to get into the?
They gotta just outdo the Spurs, bro. The Spurs is at 29 games. We had 31 wins. So if they win more games than us, then that's our ass. So
You're not
AD
in the
better get that.
play-ins.
Yeah, so
So you
AD
guys are
better get that
basically
ankle
the
right.
10th. You're like the 10th seed right now.
Hmm.
I can look it up. I could pull it up real quick. You think I should? What do you think?
I mean, I'll tell you on my phone because I'm like, we play the Pelicans tomorrow. So the Pelicans and us are tied for the same record, right? So we gotta basically beat the Pelicans. Oh, the Pelicans lost. So that's big for us right
That's
there.
good for y'all.
They just lost, but we play the Pelicans tomorrow. So we play them, and then we play Dallas, and then we play the Utah Jazz,
Oh.
and then
Ooh,
we play
Dallas, Utah. Oof, that's
and then
tough.
we play the Pelicans again on the first, and then the third we play Denver. On the fifth we play Phoenix. On the seventh we play
Ooh.
Golden State, and then
Oh.
we play OKC, and then we finish the season off with Denver.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. We got a terrible
Oh
schedule.
my God.
Like, why we got to play Denver 2 times in a row? Like, what's up
Yo,
with
y'all
us?
niggas, all you only got a break with OKC. And I'm like, the way Shy been playing lately, I don't know if it's a break.
Man, we might lose. We already lost to him twice this
I
year.
know. And I'm like, that's when Shy wasn't playing that good.
Crazy.
Oh man. I want them to get into the play-ins, man. For Braun, man. Braun's having too great of a season for that shit
Bro,
to
he's
go to
leading the
waste.
league in scoring, bro.
Because AD's ass don't what could be here. I'll be thinking to myself, like, I know, conspiracy theory there. Here it goes. So Braun went to pass up Kareem. Kind of looked like their team wasn't that good. AD gets injured. Only way that Braun's able to have the year he has is with AD not there. I don't know. Maybe they already knew we ain't finna make it to the finals with this team. AD take a year off, nigga. Let me go break some motherfucking records. Let's redo this at the end of the year. I don't know if niggas think like that, but
I can believe it because think about he just passed Karl Malone.
that's what I'm saying. I just be like, man, because I'm like, he's gonna for sure get the scoring record like the first half of the season next year. But then I'm like, he's also gonna have the feat if he gets the scoring title. He got a scoring title at 37. That's unheard of. You know what I'm saying? That's almost just as big as a feat as I'm getting. I got a chip. Because we're talking about something that's one-on-ones. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I just be looking at all that. I'd be like, man, was this all like 80? Could you play, Nick, if you wanted to?
Think about it, bro. If you're in college right now, say about a twist of my ankle like 80, bro. I'm back by least now.
Bro, yeah.
I'm back. There ain't no, well, we gonna take no. I'm back. Like we
Nigga
take
had no
my ankle
ligament
up.
damage, nothing. This nigga still chilling, trying to nurse his shit back. Like, what's going on here, man? Y'all trying to make sure LeBron get the records, nigga.
And that's big for you to say that though, because you're a big Bron fan, but you can see this conspiracy.
Yeah, I do. But I'm like, he deserves it though. I'm like, I'm not sounding like that's not shade to him. I think he deserves that, but it's just something just seemed kind of off to me. Like, it's convenient all this shit is happening this year. Like okay, sure. I'm just gonna go with the flow, and I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna watch it. Goddamn, fuck it. I'm gonna be real. I'm not gonna be that interested in the playoffs if well, I won't say that, but I don't know. I don't know how interested in the playoffs I'm gonna be this year, to be honest with you. Because I'm like, it looking like the Nets really don't got no chance like that. Like, who for you?
Why
Talk to
you
the
say they're
people.
not gonna have no chance?
Let me ask you. Let me ask you this. How you feeling right now? You think you can go like maybe like another like 30 minutes, 20 minutes? You good?
My laptop probably got 15 for you.
So we're going to 15 or probably like 12 then, huh? But I
Something
want
like
to
that.
know. Say the Lakers don't make it, Nets is, or let's say Nets and Lakers make it, but struggling in the play-ins. What's the team to watch right now? What are you gonna be more interested in? Who do you think is gonna win? Like, give me your rundown and your synopsis on that? Or your Atlas? I
Well,
probably
they
think
say
better word.
PG probably gonna come back, so if the Clippers make it, I'm gonna be interested to see
And
them go against either the Memphis
we back
Grizzlies.
real quick. Talk.
Yeah, going against the Memphis Grizzlies or potentially it depends, the Suns or whatever. Hopefully, in the play-in game. Excuse me, y'all. I apologize for yelling like that. But let me go to the playing game. Hopefully, in the playing game, okay, the Lakers can beat the Pelicans, or they can beat the Spurs, depending on who gets that 10th spot. And then hopefully the Clippers can beat Minnesota. Because I don't think we can beat the Clippers, man. I don't know. We just been losing to them. I mean, if AD come and play, I guess we could beat them. But I don't know. We should be able to beat them with no Kawhi and Paul George. But I don't know, man. The Lakers is just so unpredictable, man. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. But yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting, man. I don't know. I like the East, man. The East has a lot more going on, in my opinion, than the West. Don't get me wrong, I'm interested in the West, but since Kawhi and PG not playing, and then Bron and AD not coexisting like they supposed to, like, the Suns might really just walk themselves right back to the finals, honestly, because what they only lost 14 games this year. That's crazy. Like they could literally go win 60. What? How many games left? Let me see. 66. What's that? 84. No, 68. They can roll 68 and 14, man. If they win the rest of their games, I think they got 8 left. Let me see. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, they can win the last 8. They go 68 and 14. That'd be crazy. But I'm excited to see the East because I'm like the East. Like I'm like Cleveland can sneak in there. I want to see like a Cleveland versus Miami. That'd be a good series. And then like a
Miami's been
Brooklyn,
slipping lately too.
because Philly's number 1 now in the East.
It's crazy how things work. That just so happened you talked about Philly. Who's Philly have, by the way?
James Harden.
I just got asked. Wasn't James one of those guys you were very critical at? Critical on in the beginning of the season?
Calm down. Philly was 3rd before he got there.
I'm not saying they're first because of James, but I just remember you saying James is trash. Why he playing like this? We gotta hold him to a bigger accountability.
He was playing like trash.
But remember when I told you? I specifically said, I said, watch when this man get traded.
But we didn't know he was gonna get traded though. He wasn't talking about getting traded at first.
But I told you specifically, I was like, if he's on another team, that's not the case. I'm like, because he has to take a different role with the Brooklyn Nets. He has to be the point guard. The point guard with 76ers, he doesn't necessarily have to be a point guard. He can be himself. Does that make sense?
I feel like he's still playing exactly the same. He just scoring a little bit more.
No, I don't think he's playing differently. He's in a different role. I'm like, his game, how he plays isn't different, but how he utilizes his play is different because he doesn't have to worry about, I got to make sure KD is involved. I got to make sure Kyrie is involved.
Well, I'll tell you this right now. If
While
Brooklyn
also
Nets,
understanding my spacing, Embiid is never going to be in his way. You see what I'm saying? Embiid is always going to complement what Harden does because he's a pick and roll guy. KD doesn't complement Harden. Kyrie doesn't. They didn't have a big man to complement Harden. You see what I'm saying? So he had to adjust.
We know that the trade was better off for basically both teams, but I'm saying if Brooklyn Nets get that 7th seed and Philly's the 2nd seed or something like that, I'm telling you that's box office first round. I'm locked in every game.
I got Brooklyn all day. I'm never going to bet against KD. If KD's healthy, I don't give a fuck if it's just him. I might have to get a KD jersey. I'm starting to sound like I'm a KD fan. I keep saying I'm not.
I think you just respect the type of talent. Like, you feel me? He's not going to be playing forever.
Like he's like, to me, of my age and what I've seen, he's like Shaq to me. Like, there was Shaq. Never seen no shit like that. And then the next thing was KD. There's no disrespect to Kobe or Bron. But to me, what Shaq displayed and then seeing what KD's doing, I'm like, damn. That shit is just I can't deny it. I don't give a fuck. And a lot of times the reason why I'm, kind of like it's hard for me to be like, oh, I'm a fan of KD, but I respect everything about it because him and Braun had that rivalry. I'm a big Braun fan to the end of the day. But even though it wasn't that big of a rivalry, they only had that one finals, Heat won.
2.
Oh yeah, but I'm thinking about Golden State. I can't forget about Golden State. That's why I not because he made the choice to go to Golden State, but it's because I feel like Braun got cheated out of like at least one ring, one extra ring, because that goddamn team was so great. I feel like
that team was retarded.
We'll never see a team that great ever again. That team was ridiculous.
Oh my god!
Even KD, even after seeing KD, Kyrie, and James Harden, my respect for that Golden State Warriors team. I'm like, that team was
Clay, Iguodala,
crazy,
Draymond, like that's crazy.
Bogut.
No, that was before that KD got there.
They had him. They did get him.
No, they had JaVale when KD was there, bro.
They didn't have Bogut. I thought they got him.
Bogut was 15.
They picked him up late.
No,
I remember they picked him up again.
Well, he didn't play because JaVale was playing, and Jordan.
He didn't play that much, but he played. I'm telling you. I'm like, they picked up Bogut.
Nah, fool. Bogut for sure was done by then, bro. Them old ass knees.
No, he was playing in Australia, and they brought him back. I might be wrong. Let me see. I'm about to fact check myself right now.
I don't remember. I remember they had JaVale and Nick Young, bro.
Oh, I should probably put Andrew Bogut. Years he played with.
Why don't you just go to his Wikipedia and you gonna see how many rings he got? You know he got one.
Why is it so hard? Well, I know he got one, but the second time he was with them, I don't think they played. I'm just gonna go to Wikipedia, like you said.
I'm about to just check you right now, bro. No, he was not on that team.
Saying 2012 to 2016. So they didn't pick him back up. I could have swore they did.
No, when they got KD, they didn't need him. I told you they got JaVale McGee.
Oh yeah, 16 was the last time. Oh, that's that's what I'm mistaken with. Do you see they picked him back up in 18, 19?
Yeah.
That's what I'm mistaken with. And I don't even think they were in the finals that year.
Yeah, they were. They lost to Kawhi.
Okay, that's what I'm mixed up. Okay. Boom. I'm Fluence. I just got Fluence, y'all. So, but I was close though. They did pick him back up. I just got the wrong team.
My long 17-18 Warriors team is the greatest team damn near assembled, bro.
Yeah, that's probably the greatest team I've ever seen.
Because think about it, like the Cavs still had the same team from the 3-1 comeback, and they got ran.
Isn't it crazy though when you talk to some people hate LeBron so much they try to make it seem like that was a super team?
Really wasn't though.
Yeah, can I ask you? I want to see from your perspective because some people say
Kyrie was
Kyrie.
Cold.
That's why I want to ask you. Do you think it was a super team? Do you think LeBron had a super team?
No, because nobody really gave K-Love his flowers really like that. Nobody was saying like hyped on K-Love like that. You know what I mean? Like it was a good team. Don't get me wrong. But I don't want to say it was a super team. Like it wasn't better than that Miami team.
Damn, not even close. Yeah, but people tried to make it see. I'm like, not even close.
Like, come on, Ray Allen, J.R. Smith.
I know.
It's almost like Mario Chalmers.
It's almost like no disrespect to the players at all.
I'm not disrespecting. I'm just talking about.
It's almost like you got you went to it's like you went to like a name brand place, and then it's like you get the name brand cereal, you don't get the off brand cereal. No disrespect. That's kind of like Ray Allen, J.R. Smith. Like you said, Yvonne Shumpert, who the fuck you said?
You can say Mario Chalmers. You can
Mario
say
Chalmers. Chris Bosh to Kevin Love. No disrespect, but Chris Bosh to Kevin Love.
Chris Bosh is better. Dwayne Wade, Kyrie. I'm like, Kyrie's more of a talent in a sense, but I'm like, Dwayne Wade was
not even
money.
Close. That's not. I hate when people say that. When he's more of a talent, he's never led his own team to the playoffs. Dwayne Wade has. Please stop. Kyrie is not that good. I've never seen him be successful on his own.
I'm just talking about skill wise. I'm saying like
skill wise does not translate into losses. Okay, if he's the greatest talent, they're winning games, baby.
I'm trying to cover what people are gonna say.
That narrative.
Bro, you know Dwayne Wade's better. Like, come on, man.
It's not even close.
He's a top 75 player of all time for a reason.
Like, it's not even close. Dwayne,
Bro, his 06 finals appearance is all the niggas have to say. Go watch the tape. I watched the games when I was live because I went and got them Converse.
Dwayne Wade took his team to the playoffs on his own. Okay. Now he went with Shaq, but he was taking the mind. Well, I think what did he do? 1 year before Shaq? 2 years? Because when Lamar Odom came,
his rookie year he was with Lamar, and then they traded for Shaq the next year.
But they went that first year, right?
No,
they didn't.
They went to the playoffs after Shaq left. Remember, like when he was averaging 30 a game. Like
I do remember that because Odom was going crazy.
Mm-hmm. That's why the only reason the Shaq trade went through to Miami.
Yeah,
because they had enough. Remember him, Karan
so maybe
Butler.
I'm being a little bit too critical because I'm like thinking about it that way. I'm like, if he came as a rookie and they didn't make the playoffs and they got Shaq, I can't. And I'm like, if even though you have Shaq, you win, you lose them. They did make the playoffs. Like you've been there, done that, so you know what it takes. If you're someone, you know what I'm saying. So now I'm starting to rethink what I just said. Maybe it's closer than I think.
I'm just saying Dwayne Wade, as far as defensive prowess, you feel me? Like Dwayne Wade locking up, and he was more of a friend to LeBron. You get what I'm saying?
Kyrie dealt with a lot of injuries though early in his career too.
Yeah, but I'm just like, they still was good though, because I'm like Kyrie hit the shot. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you could look at it, but I'm just saying like I'm gonna take Dwayne Wade if I'm talking about finals. Like
we're talking Matthew Dellavedova to Shane Battier. This team is
Mario Chalmers. Mike Miller, they were good over there. Birdman, like they was nice over there, bro. Like, come on, man. That Heat team was crazy.
Yeah.
Even Norris Cole.
That was a really good team. That Heat team. But that Spurs team was a really good team though, too. That Spurs team was a great team.
So I'm just saying, as far as just like
you had super team, Timmy and Kawhi on the same team is crazy.
Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker.
It's crazy.
And Boris Diaw. People don't even give Boris Diaw his.
Damn, I forgot about Boris BD, man. He was crazy.
You had Danny Green and you had Patty Mills.
Danny Green had them. That's when I was in love with Danny Green. Danny Greenery. I was like, I called him Danny Greenery. He's always gonna come with the heat anytime.
Bro, the Spurs was really stacked, fool.
That is crazy. So I'm like, if I think about it this year, who's gonna win? There's no way you can't say that the Bucks aren't gonna win. The Bucks are Denver. Like if Jamal Murray comes back, it's a wrap.
And Michael Porter Jr.
You think he's gonna come back this year?
They were saying they said they both can come back. They're saying.
Well, Murray playing right now. He's supposed to be playing the G League for a couple games, and then bring him back up. I'm like Murray with Denver. Them niggas already stacked. Jokic. Remember, I told you about the Joker. You did not believe me. I told you, I remember 3-4 years. I said he's the best. He better than Joel. He's not bad. I told you, nigga.
But I think Giannis is better than all of them, man. Really, like he just really affects the game a lot.
Giannis is the best player in the league. Like, you gotta accept that. I never thought I would ever not say that nigga not the best. Like nigga, it's crazy, man.
You think he better than KD? He does affect the game a little bit more than KD. Just like
as I'm watching it, it's like Giannis definitely can dominate in a different type of way. KD, and the reason and part of it is not KD's fault. It's just he's getting older and he's dealing with injuries. I think that's the only thing that is just got to just be realistic with KD. He's dealing with injuries now, and you can kind of see that affecting how he's not how he plays, but just him being able to control the momentum of the game. But I think the more he plays and he doesn't have to think about that, I think he's gonna come back where we're gonna be like, all right. Because I'm like, let's still remember. I don't want to sound like motherfucking Skip, but he did almost beat the Bucks just by himself. And that was only 2 years ago?
Last year, bro.
Last year? So I'm like.
But I'm just saying this. Don't sleep on Chris Paul. Them Suns ain't no joke. Only team I can really see beating the Suns is a healthy Denver.
Booker, goddamn cold.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but it's Chris Paul though. Either a healthy. Real
quick, Denver. I did that on purpose just to rub that in your face. I told you that. Remember, you argued my point with that shit.
Yeah. either a healthy Denver team or a sneaky HC Lakers. They can beat them. Believe it or not.
AD's back playing? That's what he's talking about?
He's playing.
Okay.
If he's
Is that
playing,
possible?
yes, because Brian wasn't doing this last year. When I'm
No, I mean, is AD coming back? That's what
yeah,
I'm
they already said
asking.
he's already been back on the court and all that. Like he's been.
When is he coming back? They got a date.
No, they don't got no date. But they
Okay.
say in a couple games, they say they don't have a specific game he's coming back, but they saying before the postseason.
What's the rating? What's the rate? Excuse me, rating. What's the rankings? Where the Lakers are the 10th seed right now, correct?
9th.
Oh, I thought they were the 10th seed.
I
Okay,
told
well, y'all
you,
got a little bit
I
more.
said New Orleans lost, remember? And they play New Orleans tomorrow. So if they beat New Orleans, that puts them in a better position.
New Orleans is the 9th. Excuse me, 10th. Who's under them?
Spurs.
You know, how much under?
Like a game and a half.
So they're basically just holding on by a thread. Yeah, y'all need AD to come back. But at the same time, this nigga ain't really made a change too much in y'all shit. When he come back, he kind of slow y'all game down. Westbrook looks really bad with AD. Like him and like niggas want to say him and LeBron don't work. No, him and AD don't work. Because AD's not a traditional big, so that doesn't work. Westbrook needs Westbrook likes to play with Steven Adams type. You know what I'm saying? Get the boards, pass out, get out the way. I'm here for a dunk or alley-oop. AD's like, nah, nigga, this whole area, when you get into this space, this is mine. So I need to make sure you're giving me enough space. When you give me the ball, I can work and I don't get crowded. That's why he loved Rondo so much. He didn't like Dennis. But I bet you missing Dennis now, nigga. Dennis the guy
because Westbrook is still playing better than Dennis Schroeder.
If you look at it statistically, maybe, but if you're watching the game,
probably not.
You got to understand that certain plays can kill momentum of the game. Like it can look like you have a good game, but then you watch that shit and you just like, damn, if he didn't do that, y'all probably would have won. You know what I'm saying? And Westbrook does that a lot. And that's just because that's always been like people want to be like, that's always been the type of player he is. That's correct. But he's usually the leader of a team. So he can make those mistakes because he knows how to make up for those mistakes because usually the decisions are in his hands. And so that usually be the problem. But I say lately though, he's looked good.
We're gonna see, man. It's all on 80, man. This has always been on 80. That's just been what everybody already been new. So if he gonna step up. If he not, then he gonna fold like a deck of cards.
Yeah, then no matter what Westbrook does, LeBron does, 80 got to be there. He got to play. If he don't, then y'all gonna be out. That's a fact. And nothing changes about that. But I got the Bucks probably winning it again. I think Giannis is finna be the next great, whatever.
I think we get a Brooklyn Nets, Phoenix Suns, either Phoenix Suns or Golden State Finals.
Even if they play Philly, either they beat Philly.
Bro, they beating every team, bro.
I got to be in Philly just because I'm never gonna bet.
Kyrie's back. That's what people. He's back for all home games, bro.
I'm not really big on it. I don't care about it. It's KD.
But
as long as KD's healthy, no one's beating Brooklyn, bro.
That's what I'm saying. But
that nigga KD don't even need help. I know, but I'm just saying that's how like bro, he don't even he only need help against the Bucks. Like with Kyrie there, I'm like, okay, bet they could beat them. But I'm like, it all comes down to if KD can stay healthy. Do you think he'll be able to stay healthy for the? That's what I'm wondering, bro. I'm gonna be on it. It's been a little while.
You gonna do it, bro?
He has
no choice. It's too much pressure. He got no choice. He done all this. He left Steph. He said he's gonna do it his way. This is his time.
I would love to see KD win another ring, and then LeBron not sign an extension and go over to Brooklyn. Then we got KD, Bron, and
they're not gonna draft Bronny over there. No, that's not gonna work.
Bronny ain't coming to the league for another 2 years. You can just sign a 2-year deal, and then after that 2-year deal, then you go to Cleveland. And bam, they draft Bronny, then you ended in Cleveland. That's what I do. That would be fire. Think about that. Bron, Kyrie, and KD, nigga. Bron is old though, but all right, we ain't gonna keep the people, man. It's getting late.
All right, yeah.
I don't even care though, honestly, just because it's Saturday. But we don't want to keep the people, man. Not much love to people. This was a good little stream.
Shout out to Lost One and JJ for jumping in the chat. Appreciate y'all, man. Y'all kept it entertaining, man, with your good questions, man. Appreciate y'all if y'all see this back.
And salute to JJ, man. I think this is the first time I seen him in the stream. Am I wrong? Zien, let me
Yeah, I
know.
never seen him.
Yeah, so salute to you, man. If you're new to the Black Goose family, appreciate you, man. None but love. Got a lot more of these coming. Unfortunately, we don't got the greatest fights to look forward to in the next couple of weeks, but sooner or later, we're gonna have a Fluence Lounge. We actually gonna pay attention to the fight because I feel like it's been a little bit minutes since we did that because they ain't been that great. But it's all good, man. That's how it goes. Got to keep it rolling. Anything you want to say to the people before we get up out of here?
Just keep being appreciative, man.
Salute to the people, man. We up out here. As always, if you do any type of rewatch value on this joint, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, be part of the family, man, notification gang, and comment. We up out of here, man. Appreciate y'all.